All right, we're on. Hey, Wayne Allyn back from the Italian American Club, Fiore. What a wonderful day. Started at 11:30. Great event. And it was the Italianization of Wayne today. I am now returning as an Italian Jew. Just so everybody knows, I was led out by a Roman centurion in a Robin of Batman and Robin fame outfit of green, white, and red. I guess that's the Italian colors. And then I got up on the stage, and I didn't know any of this. They had been practicing for days like a play. They had the Pope out there. Nelson Sardelli was the Pope. And they had all kinds of ministers and Catholic priests and Roman centurions and a mafia guy guarding over me as my consigliere and I think they call it a guma, which is your girlfriend on the side. They had a hot babe there to be my girlfriend because you're supposed to, when you're Italian, you have to have a wife and a girlfriend. So they had the girlfriend there. And they knighted me Italian. And my new name is Fabio, just so everybody knows. It is now officially Fabio. And because they knew Donald Trump is my guy, they gave me a plaque, and it's by the authority vested by Saint Donaldo Giovanni Trumpinelli, newly canonized patron saint of all huge miracles and protector of all legal and non-deportable Italians. I have now been given the irrevocable, albeit questionable, Italian citizenship, making me an official paisan, because no one is permitted to be that famous and liked like Wayne Root and not be Italian. So it was a great day, sold out house, packed house. Who wasn't there? Megan Barth wasn't there. She forgot. She thought it was tomorrow. Isn't that right, Megan?
Yes.
She missed it. Notice how quiet she is. She's quiet. But everyone does like you. Everyone commented how much they like
so
when
mad.
Megan's filling in.
I wanted to be there. I wanted to be your rah-rah. I wanted to cheerlead.
There were like 10 comments.
I wanted some Italian food.
There were 10 comments that Megan's doing a great job, and one guy said, watch out. She wants your job. She thinks it's hers. Just so you know. Just so you know. I got my eye on you.
Well, when you get to know me better, you'll have to know that if I don't write it down, it doesn't exist, and always text me on the way to the venue. I get ready really quick.
Well, they're lucky I made it to the venue. It was my day, and I almost forgot. So I didn't forget. I knew it was happening, but I got there late. So it was a wonderful day. It was a lot of fun, and I would say the highlight of the day was as I was being led out blindfolded in front of the crowd. They led me out with a Italian Roman gladiator, and I said to the crowd, what could possibly go wrong? A Jew being led forward by a Roman guard. What could possibly go wrong there? The crowd went wild. It was very funny. It was a good moment. And as I told the crowd, I'm just really, really pleased that nobody whacked me.
Right.
So, but it was a great day. And I'm now officially Italian. I'm officially
Italian. I feel like
Italian.
you should be on a white horse and on the back of like a Harlequin romance.
We're going to change the name of the show. It's Fabio Now.
Fabio Now.
Fabio Now.
Fabio Live.
That is the new shit. Fabio Live. That is the new name of this show. I am Wayne Fabio Root, and I was knighted by Donaldo Trumpinelli, just so everybody knows. All right, back to news at hand. But first of all, thank you for taking the first hour.
Always.
And what was your big topic in that first hour?
We had Trevor Loudon for half an hour.
Did he come in?
No.
Oh, okay.
He
Trevor's
called.
a friend of mine, you know.
Oh, I did not. Well, you're friends with everybody.
I am friends with everybody. Trevor is a friend of mine.
Yeah, well, he's fantastic.
You know, Trevor ran for VP of New Zealand, and I was, of course, ran for VP of America.
Right.
Neither one of us had any chance to ever win. So we're in that club, you know, VP candidates who never had a chance to win. It's a club of very few
people. Hey, but you know, at least you ran.
That's a club of 100 people or so in the whole world ever. But in any
the
case,
important part is that you ran.
well, we won the nomination.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Look,
I won the VP nomination.
No, but you know, there was this story
in New Zealand to win a VP nomination, you need exactly one vote. You know, just so you know.
Really?
I'm just kidding. It's a small country. There aren't a lot of people. You're so gullible.
I'm blonde.
So gullible. Oh, my God. Did I ever tell you the blonde joke?
No.
The blonde walks to the doctor and says, I am in so much pain. And the doctor says, where? And she takes her finger and she points to her chest and she says here. And then she points to her arm and says here, points to her stomach, says here, points to her thigh, says here, points to her head and says here. And the doctor says, honey, you have a broken finger. Just wanted to give you a little blonde humor. Charlie liked that one.
I was in so much pain this morning because I did this hot Pilates. You know, I like to do that hot Pilates. Obviously, the chick didn't get the message that she was supposed to be marching and not showing to work because she literally kicked my butt. So I did have pain everywhere this morning. However, Trevor Loudon.
Your finger's broken, honey.
My finger is like that too. Trevor Loudon, I covered this piece last week when you were gone, and I don't know if you caught it.
I didn't.
But
What does
there
Trevor say?
were 5 Pakistani nationals, a whole family, three men, their son, and 2 wives, or 2 men, their son and 2 wives.
Yeah.
And they were paid $5 million by the Democrats, and they worked for the Democrats who sat on intelligence committees. And they are currently under investigation for downloading emails and all of our intelligence.
Yeah, I know about that. I know about the whole thing. Yeah, they all got fired, but Democrats defended them and didn't want them fired because they were Muslim.
Correct.
They
Because
were
it's all
stealing.
about diversity over safety.
And by the way,
the motto
weren't they
of the
hacking?
Democrats.
Wouldn't that be what you'd call it? They were hacking. In other words, Democrats make a big deal of Russians hacking Hillary, but here are 5 Muslims hacking the files of
that
the
they're
United
paying
States government.
$5 million.
And Democrats aren't too concerned with that at all because they're Muslim.
We're not talking about
Yeah.
it. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. And
Yeah.
so Trevor had called out in his movie this particular rep, Andre, I'll have to get his note, Andre out of Indiana.
Okay.
And he was one of the employed. And in the clip on his movie, he says he's speaking in front of this National CARE conference or National Islamic Conference.
CARE, C-A-I-R.
It's not the CARE conference.
But it's
it
like
was a
that.
different,
Okay,
it was like
yeah.
the ICANN. or
Another
something.
Muslim
Right,
conference, I
another
get it.
Muslim conference. And he basically said, I know the spies out there, in the audience who think that, I want to destroy this country. And then he paused and he goes, Allah won't stop you. It was the most frightening thing. And this is a elected official.
Is it
who
congressman?
sits- yes. Who's on, I want to get his
There's
name.
a congressman who said out loud
Correct.
on camera, Allah won't stop me from destroying America?
He never said he wouldn't destroy America, but Allah wouldn't stop him.
I think more confusing to me was you started this conversation by saying several Democrats on the Intelligence Committee. That, honey, is an
Right, that's an
oxymoron.
oxymoron.
You can't
I
have
know,
Democrats
I
on an
know.
Intelligence Committee.
But
you can have
you know-
Democrats on a moron committee, but you can't have them on an Intelligence Committee. Okay?
Right. Well, as long as they're progressive morons of America. They want to be progressives. That's the most important. Andre Carson.
He's a congressman.
Correct.
And congressmen are allowed to say, Allah won't stop me from destroying America? I
Basically,
didn't realize that.
yes.
I never realized that. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So don't worry. He's sitting on Intelligence Committee. He's just employed 5 Muslim moles, Pakistani
But we
moles.
did arrest those 5 moles, right? They're arrested.
Some of them still are collecting salary.
Well, that doesn't surprise me because you could rape, you could murder, you could pillage, and a government employee always collects their salary. You can't fire a teacher in the New York City school system. You know that, right?
Well, I know that, but it's
teacher
not like the
could-
teacher
a
is
teacher
downloading
could-
our top secret information.
But a
Well, who
teacher
knows?
can rape underage students, and they still put them in a rubber
Rubber
room.
room. I know they did that all the time in
Well,
California.
all of you out there know what a rubber room is? That's just a place where they send bad teachers.
It's a safe space.
Sounds like
for,
a movie.
for-
Didn't Cameron Diaz
it's
do
a
bad
safe
teachers?
space for teaching pedophiles.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they just let them stay in the room and open the New York Post and read all day with their feet up on a desk and collect their salary for the next 20 years.
Right.
Because they have to keep their job, but they won't let them in a classroom with a kid ever again. So they send them every day, 5 days a week to a rubber room. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
They do that a ton in California. LAUSD is infected with rubber rooms.
Now, don't forget, in Nevada, they may not do that. I don't know if they do with teachers, but I know with firemen, they convicted a fireman 2 years ago. I remember it was in the newspaper. He was convicted. A fire captain was convicted of picking up an underage prostitute. And he was convicted and sent to prison for 10 years. And they said during the entire 10 years, he'll collect his $200,000 a year pension. So you have no expenses in prison. So when you get out of prison, you have $2 million sitting waiting for you.
Oh, my God.
You can't fire government employees. You can't stop their pensions. You can't stop anything. It's insanity. What do we get in the private sector protection-wise? Nothing. Zero.
No, there were 4 break-ins around my neighborhood the other night.
No, but I'm saying in the private sector, what do we get? Nothing. If
No,
you're-
we don't-
If you're an
no.
employee of
Oh,
a
right, no.
private company, what do you get?
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
We have a 100% spike in crime in Las Vegas in a
Yeah,
year.
I'm well aware.
100%.
By the way, I said that on the radio. I've been talking about it nonstop because a gal who's a friend of mine, Cindy Parker, is in charge of. She's chairman of the board of Summerlin North, and they had several meetings and hundreds of people showed up. It was a massive outpouring because they were talking about the crime wave in Summerlin.
You're right.
And
Gail
me-
calls in all the time. She says there's a break in a minute.
But Bob Beers, councilman, who's a good guy. Bob
Yeah,
Beers is a very good guy.
I met Bob.
But
Like
he
Bob.
comes on and he says on this show, if you look at the statistics, they tell you a different story, that there's no difference in the crime now versus a year ago. I said, Bob, then the statistics are lying. Because every person I know in Summerlin is telling me massive crime wave. And then in Henderson, I live in double guard-gated Anthem Country Club with guards with guns.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a massive burglary in the double guard gate, massive burglary uptick. And then in Anthem in general, Sun City has no gates like I do. It's right above me is Sun City Anthem. There's been so many robberies there that the police put a special like a red, white, and blue thing that beeps and flashes, scares the bejesus out of you. You're driving down the road to Anthem, and you see this thing flashing at night, red and blue, and I called up the police and said, what the hell's that? You're not allowed by law to have radar guns in, to take people's via camera, how
Right.
with their speed and give them a ticket. And they said, no, that's not what it is. It is taking a photo of the license plate of every car that enters the Anthem area because we've had such a massive increase in burglaries. We're taking license plates, pictures of every single car that goes in and every single car that goes out so we can then see what time the burglary was and check within 5 minutes what
Right.
license plates came in. So
Holy
obviously
smokes.
there's a massive crime wave in
Right.
both Summerlin and Henderson. I don't care what the statistics say. They game statistics the same way that Obama lied for 8 years about every statistic about the economy. They make up whatever they want to make up the same way they made up that Trump was losing by
Polls.
15 points in the election. Now they say he's unpopular. They're lying.
Right.
They lie about everything. They make things up. What was that famous saying? You have statistics, facts, statistics, and damn lies.
Right.
Right? They're all the same thing. You can make up whatever you want. It depends who's running the poll, right?
Right.
But I will say this much. Rasmussen was the poll I based going on a limb and telling everyone for months in advance of the election Trump would win. And Rasmussen's the most credible poll in America. And he doesn't oversample Democrats or Republicans. So he kept saying it was a dead even race. Trump was up one or down one or even the entire time. And I kept saying, these polls that show he's down 15 are out of their mind.
Mm-hmm.
He's dead even. And so I made the prediction he'd win, and it made me look smart. Now all the polls show Trump's the most unpopular president ever at this short period of time. Rasmussen shows it's like 54 love him and 46 don't.
Right.
So he's a popular president. He's fine. He's higher than Obama was when he left office.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just whoever is taking the poll is in charge of the statistics, just like there's a famous saying, whoever counts the votes is in charge of who the winner is, right?
Right.
So if the wrong person counts the votes, you got a problem.
Yeah, like we do in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Nevada.
And my commentary in the RG, I don't know if you read my commentaries.
Yeah,
it was
I
based
do.
on election fraud.
I know.
And I said you've got to have voter ID. You've got to match legal residence with voting rolls, right? And you've got to stop allowing people to vote in Spanish.
That's
You
right.
can't allow someone to vote in another language. Not Spanish. I don't be racist here. No language but English.
I know there's 36 different
Right, you
languages
can't
for
vote
ballots.
Ukrainian.
What are
You
talking
shouldn't vote
about?
in German. You shouldn't vote in Italian.
Vietnamese?
I'm Jewish. You shouldn't vote in Hebrew. What a stupidest thing I've ever heard. Are you people crazy out there? If you got to vote in Hebrew, then you should go vote in Israel. You don't belong in America if you can't speak English. So there. See, I'm not racist. My own people are jerks if they're voting in Hebrew. What are you kidding? I'm sure that one doesn't exist. I'll bet you money. Out of the languages, Hebrew's
it's
not
another,
in it.
It's another.
No, there's no Jew ever
that-
came to America who doesn't vote in English. I guarantee you. They're not like
That's
other
true
groups of
dat.
people. They learn English, okay?
International language of business.
Yeah. My parents, Hebrew or English?
English.
Hebrew's pretty good too for
yeah.
business, yeah.
Right.
But my relatives came to America from Russia and Germany without a penny in their pockets, and they all very quickly learned
Were
English.
they
It's not a
double
hard thing to
agents? Are you
do.
a double agent, Wayne?
No, but I love Russian dressing. So I think that there should be a congressional investigation. Wayne Root admits he loves Russian dressing. I am and my
I like
grandfather
Russian
was from
vodka.
Russia. Louis Rutsky came through Ellis Island from
Rutsky.
Russia. And I
Fabio
like
Rutsky.
Russian. Fabio Rutsky.
Oh my God,
So,
you would never make it on radio with that name.
Fabio Rutsky now. We will be right back. Megan, thank you. Thanks for being with us.
I
This
missed you
is
today.
Wayne Root, a.k.a. Fabio Rutsky. We'll be right back. All right. Wayne on the Root, War Now. 790 Talk Now in Vegas, 98.1 FM in Palm Springs, and soon to be stations all over the United States with national syndication starting right around the corner. We'll have that announcement for you soon. But tell your friends, tell your relatives, and warn all the liberals out there that Wayne Root's coming. Get out of the streets because you don't want to be here when I arrive in New York and Pittsburgh and Philadelphia and Florida and Los Angeles and all over this great country. How about Chicago? You better scatter and scatter fast. Liberals, run for your lives because I make liberals' heads explode. I'm otherwise known as the middle-class warrior, relentless freedom fighter, capitalist evangelist, conservative rock star, and all-around badass, and I'm coming to a city near you. This show, by the way, is sponsored. Wasn't here in the first hour, so I got to get some of these station ID type things in. This show is sponsored by Swiss America, the gold standard, the number one precious metals company in America. Contact Swiss America at 800-BUY-COIN, 800-BUY-COIN. By the way, it's March. That means April 15th is right around the corner. And, there's only one way to reduce your taxes legally, and that's to have some sort of an IRA or SEP IRA if you own your own business. Well, now you can get them in physical gold and physical silver. Swiss America is the only place to go to accomplish that. So call 800-BUY-COIN and get your IRA in physical precious metals, gold and silver. 800-BUY-COIN, BUY coin, or go to SwissAmerica.com and tell them Wayne Root sent you. All right. This is usually where I do the Root Rant, but we happen to have Kevin Wall on the line right now. I love Kevin. Kevin's got the drive show here at 790 and in Palm Springs at 98.1 from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. It's called Live and Local with Kevin Wall. And I was his guest earlier today, and now he's my guest, returning the favor. And he always comes on the show to educate us about local issues. You know, I'm a very national guy, and I talk mostly about national issues. Kevin is the expert on the state of Nevada and the city of Las Vegas and everything going on right now up in Carson City. And let me tell you something. Carson City is now they should change the name to Crazy City, because it's run by a bunch of wackadoodle liberal nutcases who got elected on this round. Total, complete nut house people. I mean, they're out of their minds. I mean, they're like little children, and mommy and daddy went away for the weekend, and they're trying to think of any crazy thing they could shove through. This is a sanctuary state. Prisoners should vote in prison. How about the fact that we need an ERA, an Equal Rights Amendment? That failed 40 years ago. They're trying to pass it in Nevada. Let's bring back laws involving dinosaurs, for God's sakes. These people are, Kevin, they're out of their minds. They're run amok. They are mixed up people. I've never seen such weird people that were elected to office as the radical, extreme Marxist nutcases that are in Carson City right now.
Well, and it gets worse. Believe it or not, it gets worse because, for instance, right now they are meeting in Carson City, even as we speak, to raise the property taxes. They think you and I don't pay enough in property taxes. They think we're undertaxed, so they want to raise the caps so that every community in the state can raise your property taxes.
So let me get this straight. They want to institute a 3% floor, not ceiling, floor. So what's the ceiling if there's a 3% floor? Nothing? Is there no ceiling at all?
It's not.
I mean, look, I can't.
More of your money. Hey, think of what you pay in property taxes right now in Anthem Country Club.
Yeah.
And now think of what more they can get from you. They're going to have their hands in your pocket again if this bill passes. And again, it's AB 43, Assembly Bill 43, and this is one where Governor Sandoval has got to veto this thing. We don't know what the governor is doing. He may be out fishing somewhere. He may be on a junket to China or somewhere. But for some unexplained reason, nobody seems to know where the governor's at and what the governor thinks of bills like this. But he can't believe that we are not taxed enough and that we need more taxes.
All right, so a few strange things I want to comment on about Governor Sandoval. Obviously, you know Kevin Wall. We call the segment Build the Wall, by the way, with Kevin Wall. And you know that I'm on record as saying that he's the worst Republican governor in America, that, if you want to get elected as a Republican and then pass the biggest tax increase in history, you are a liar and a fraud and a traitor. But I'll take it a step further. Can you imagine me as governor, how often I'd be on a talk show promoting my agenda? Has he ever been on your show or my show? Ever? No, right? Ever.
I think once back at CBS, but never here. And I think he's afraid of strong, opinionated people like you and me. I think he's afraid of us. I honestly do. That's why his handlers won't let him go on with us. But
so it's not just us. He isn't in the media anywhere. To me, he's a governor for 7 years that outside of the campaign is never seen, ever. And I don't understand that. If I was governor, I'd be running around the state on a private jet, and I'd be in every end of this state 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, making appearances, and people would see me. Now, who's more out there than Wayne Root? I'm everywhere. I give speeches. I'm everywhere, Kevin. I've never run into Brian Sandoval, our governor, ever in 7 plus years. I've never seen him. I don't know where he is. He must just hide in his office in Carson City. It's unbelievable. How could I not run into him?
He doesn't even come to party functions. Things like Central Committee meetings that they have at Silverton or other places. He doesn't even come to those.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying.
Because he's afraid.
Yeah, I mean, I speak. Look, each year I must speak at 20 Republican events of various kinds all over the state, and I've never run into him. I've never even met a person who met him. I don't understand. He hides in his office, so it's very strange. But if there's ever anything he ought to veto, it's the property tax hike. But I don't know. That statement means nothing because here's the guy who passed the greatest income tax hike or business tax in the history of Nevada. So why would he now suddenly decide he has a conscience and he won't allow a property tax hike. The only argument I can make is he would say he allowed a business tax on companies that do over $3 million a year, not under, and that a property tax hike hits everyone, including average middle-class people and retirees. So hopefully he'll have some common sense and some compassion for the people who live in homes and pay all the taxes in this state and who cannot afford in this terrible economy a property tax increase. But if he doesn't, I'm telling you, he should be tarred and feathered. A Republican agreeing
agreed.
to all these taxes, tar and feather him and lead him out of Carson City on the third rail. I don't know what else to say because it's a joke how you could be a Republican and believe in things like this and allow things like this. Just terrible. All right, let's take a quick break. When we get back, I want to talk about next on your agenda in Carson City. Tell us about the states going to pot and the crazy car seat requirements, more stupidity, and the motor voter bill, more stupidity coming from the juvenile delinquents running our state in Carson City. I think they're all 3 years old, and they're just out of their minds. They need a rubber room, and they're having temper tantrums while their parents are away. They're trying to jam through everything in the world that a Marxist could ever think of. That's our new wildly radical Democratic State Assembly and State Senate. I'm Wayne Root. Kevin Wall is my guest. Build the Wall is the segment. We'll be right back with Kevin Wall. Don't go anywhere. You're going to want to hear about the seatbelts and the pot and the motor voter. Wait till you hear this. All right, Wayne Allyn, War Now. The name of that song is Loser. And that's what I say about our governor, Brian Sandoval. Loser, worst Republican governor in America. And all the people, the Democrats now in control of the Assembly and the House, the Senate, Assembly and the House, both houses of the legislature. They're not only losers, they are freaks. They are Marxists. They are radical nutcases who belong in a rubber room. We continue now with my good friend Kevin Wall, 9 a.m. to 12 noon every day right here. 790 Talk Now, Talk That Rocks. It's called Live and Local with Kevin Wall, and we call the segment Build the Wall. And he's letting us know what's happening up in Crazy City, otherwise known as Carson City. Hey, Kevin, how are you? Oh, we have Kevin? Charlie? Make sure we get Kevin back on. There we go. Kevin, you there?
There we go.
There you go.
I think it was a button I didn't push. I don't think it was Charlie, I think it was me.
Charlie's taking calls.
No
We got a lot of
operator
people. We got a lot of people calling up. So somebody's on the line. He's talking to him. So he didn't press your button. But all right. So we talked about the property tax hike, and that would be a sin. That would be horrible. And I've given up on Governor Sandoval if he doesn't veto it. Businesses going to pot. Tell us what's happening with marijuana in this state.
Well, what Tick Segerblom is trying to do, a state senator from here in Las Vegas, he wants to authorize local governments to tax through a business license. I mean, it's essentially a tax. Any business that allows the use of marijuana. So, for instance, hotels. If they wanted to allow you to smoke marijuana on the property, they would have to have a business license to do so. This is, Wayne, this is just another example of people saying, you know, if we could tax the air we breathe, they would.
Right.
And here's another example. Tell me why a business needs a business license to allow you to do something that is legal under law.
Right, but
it makes no sense.
To me, it's all going too far anyway. Because I'm not someone who's ever been very anti-pot. I'm very libertarian and pro-freedom, and you should do what you want in your own privacy of your own bedroom or dining room or whatever. But I'm not for allowing people to smoke pot in a hotel room on the property at the Mirage or the Bellagio or Venetian. You have no right to smoke pot when I'm going to come in that room with my kids a day later. You can't get rid of that smell. I think any hotel property that allows this is absolutely reckless and losing their mind because they're going to hurt their business. I think this is the way we're going to hurt Nevada's business. I'm not saying pot shouldn't be legal. I'm saying it shouldn't be legal to smoke on the property. You know, there might be a designated area where you could smoke cigarettes, and in that area maybe you could smoke pot too. But I don't think...
What about casinos?
That's what I'm saying. A hotel or casino, there might have to be a designated area, or you could choose to not allow it. It's your private property. If I owned a casino, I would not allow pot to be spoken on my property. But that's just me. I'm just telling you, I wouldn't allow it. I have no problem with legalized pot, not in a casino. If you want to do it in your car, if you want to do it in your home, great, but I don't want to check into my hotel room and have the rancid smell of leftover pot in my room. I just don't want it. I think it's a horrible smell, and I want nothing to do with it. Just my belief. That's all. That's all I'm telling you.
So explain to me though why cities or counties should make money off of somebody that does that. I mean, if you allow it or if you don't allow it.
Well,
for
first of all, Kevin, you know they're making money anyway. I agree with you. I'm on your side. It's absurd to need another license to allow them to smoke it on your property when it's your property and it's already legal to do it in the state. I get it. I get why you think that was absurd. It is. It's just another government money grab. But on the other hand, I'm just pointing out that all legal pot is a way for governments to make money. That's the only thing these greedy politicians care about is making money. Taxing everything to death. If it moves, tax it. And here's the thing, Kevin. I don't remember if I did this during one of your segments, if you heard me talk about it, or maybe on your show from 9 a.m. to noon, right here at 790 if I mention it. But I'm sure you've covered this story. Philadelphia's soda tax is a disaster. Disaster. They've driven business down so badly that people are being laid off, employees are being laid off left and right. Businesses are going under. They can't sell soda because they put such a heavy tax on it that it's now people won't buy it in Philadelphia. They won't give up their soda habit. They drive across state lines to New Jersey and they buy it in New Jersey or another county outside of Philadelphia. So, taxing something kills it. It's a fact. You tax it, you kill it. People are not going to pay all of these taxes. We're getting too greedy in the state of Nevada. Too many taxes.
And here's the thing about the soda tax. In fact, I was just doing morning drive radio in Philadelphia earlier this week, and one of the things that we're finding there is people expected that Pepsi and Canada Dry and Coca-Cola and any of the people that produce these sugary soft drinks that they would absorb this one, this crazy tax,
which doubles
on the
price.
Soft drinks.
Doubles the price.
Yeah, exactly. And what has happened is the people that are penalized the worst are the people that work for these companies that get laid off, and they're laying off people like crazy. And the other people are the people that don't have private transportation, that can't jump into their Honda Accord or their Lexus and drive across the city limits into New Jersey or into another city. They don't have the wherewithal to do it. So it's poor people. You're hurting poor people.
Yeah, well, they're trying to stop you from drinking sugary drinks, I guess. But that me as the libertarian, once again, that falls into a verboten category for me because government has no right to lecture you and tell you what to do. I personally think cigarette smoking is disgusting. I personally think drugs are disgusting, including marijuana. I personally don't drink. In my whole life, I've never drank alcohol. But I realize that that's my personal choice. In my life, Kevin, I've never fought anyone else, tried to stop them from drinking alcohol or tried to stop them from smoking a cigarette or tried to stop them from smoking marijuana. When I was a kid playing football, I remember some of my classmates were passing around the marijuana cigarette, and it never bothered me. I didn't use it, but I sat there and still hung out with them while they were smoking pot and I wasn't. I'm not a busybody. I'm not a control freak. It's none of my business what you do. And that's the problem I have with government. Their whole life is about taxing us in order to control our lives and our choices. And it makes me sick. It really does.
Well, it's just another element of government trying to get into your life. And what we want and what Donald J. Trump did when he was campaigning is he wants the government to get less into your life, not more into your life. And here's, it's just a couple of great examples that we've had already today. And believe it or not, they're trying to make them law here in Nevada.
All right, so wait, let's go to the next one because this is another great example. The car seat requirements. They're trying to change them and make them more onerous and give you more chance to get a ticket from a police officer. Tell us about the car seat requirements, Kevin Wall.
This is SB 156. It was heard this morning in the Senate Transportation Committee, and it would actually raise the age that Nevada requires children to ride in the car seats from 5 to 7. Used to be, or currently, when the child turns 6, you don't have to put. Because car seats. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's about size. It's not about age.
Do you know how big my kids were at 7 years old? I got to tell you, my kids are giant for their size, right? When my kids are 7, they're huge. Putting a 7-year-old in a car seat is absurd. You're treating them like a baby. And then the second half of this makes me even more angry. Who's this woman? Joyce Woodhouse, Democrat, wants to make a child not wearing a seatbelt a primary offense and outlaw children under 13 from sitting in the front passenger seat. My daughter just turned 9, so really she's like an 8-year-old. She turned 9 just a little while ago, about a month ago, and she sits in the front seat with me all the time. We go to daddy-daughter dinner, and she only started sitting in the front seat since she turned 9 years old, a month ago. She always sat in the back. Now she gets in the front because she wants to feel like an adult. And to me, at 9, she's a very advanced kid. My kids are homeschooled. You know, my daughter went to Harvard. This kid's probably on her way to grade school. Very smart. She's 9 going on 17. I'm telling you, she deserves to sit in the front seat, and she loves it. What right has this woman, Joyce Busybody Woodhouse, got to tell me whether my kid can sit in the front seat? She's 9 years old. None of your damn business, Joyce. Go back to your own house. I'd love to. Man, would I like to do a reality show about politicians' lives. Let's see what kind of a mom Joyce is. Let's see how her kids turned out. Let's put a camera on Joyce Woodhouse's kids, and let's see if she's a good mom. I'm betting money, knowing liberals are lousy parents and their kids are always wild and out of control. I'll bet Joyce is the worst mother in the world. I hope you're listening, Joyce. Screw you. You're just another busybody, nanny state loser. That's what you are. Got it? All right, Kevin Wall. When we come back, I want you to stay one more. I want to talk about the motor voter bill because now the commies up in Carson City want to make sure that anyone could register to vote, whether they are an illegal alien or not. They're trying to do the coup de grace here and send home the final winner for Democrats in every election. Let everyone in the world vote without any checkup on who they are. Wayne Allyn Root, War Now with Kevin Wall from Build the Wall, 9 to 12 every day, live and local with Kevin Wall. He's on right now with us talking about Crazy City, otherwise known as Carson City. When we get back, wait till you hear what they want to do with the motor voter bill. Unbelievable. Be right back. Be right back. All right, W.A.R. is with you for the 5 o'clock hour. Wayne Allyn Root. You know, what does that intro say? I'm not. He says he's not responsible. The station's not responsible for injuries. No, I'm responsible for injuries. Wayne Allyn Root is knocking liberals unconscious and making liberals' heads explode all over America, kicking them in the balls all over America, kicking liberals' asses. That's what I like to do. That's what I live to do. All right, normally we'd be doing a Root rant in this segment, but instead of ranting, I'm going to go straight to the lines because we've had people waiting for over an hour. Line 2 is Dana. Dana, you're on with W.A.R. How are you?
Hey, Wayne, I want two
Oh,
quick
it's Dane.
comments I wanted to say.
Is it my Dane, the great Dane? Hey, Dane.
The great Dane.
Cool.
Hey, listen, I had one question and one point to make. My first question is, of course, I was at the luncheon today, which was fantastic. I got to know, when the Green Goddess swatted you, I was in the back of the room. I could feel it back there. I just want to know, are you able to sit down while you're doing your radio show today?
Well, there was a point where we had a very beautiful lady who was supposed to be, who played like, all Italians supposedly are married with girlfriends, and I think they're called a guma, is your girlfriend. So they had her come out and be the girlfriend, and she paddled me in the ass so hard that I thought I was going to fall forward 5 feet, and it hurt. You know it hurt. You can see that, right?
I felt it from the back room. Believe me, it was a snap.
Oh, my gosh.
Anyway, you earned your Italian stripes today, I'll tell you.
I earned my stripes. I did. I got paddled by a beautiful woman.
Oh, my gosh, it was fun. But I wanted to make a point about this motor voter because you know that I came from communist California where Moonbeam Brown put into law, and they had motor voter put into law there. After they did that, they registered 2.5 million motor voters, okay? And here's what happened. 5.9 million people for Clinton, 2.5 for Trump.
Right.
Do the math.
Right.
You can see what happened there. It's just the totalist biggest fraud. It's just unbelievable what's happening. And to say that there's no motor fraud, you are living under a rock in the Nevada desert.
Well, that's the thing, Dane. They're not living under a rock. They know they're lying. They know the only way they can be elected is by massive voter fraud. Democrats are in on the scam. They're not delusional. They know there's massive voter fraud. That's why they get so angry whenever someone like me writes or goes on Fox News or on the radio and says there's massive voter fraud. Illegals are voting by the millions. California registered millions of illegals. come on, they know exactly what's going on, and that's why they get so angry over something that should be the most unimportant issue in the world. It's not racism. To ask for voter ID, guess who has it? Everyone. Every poor person in America who votes Democrat wants free health care, and the only way you can get it is if you show your government-issued ID. That's how you know that's a big scam. They're all liars. And you can't get food stamps or welfare without that same government-issued ID. So it's not a hard thing to ask people to get it. Every poor person already has it, or they couldn't get their Obamacare. It's not. It's just a giant scam when they tell you that they can't get it, and it's suppression of votes that cause you to want this because you're a Republican racist. It's a big lie. Hey, Dane, thank you for calling. Appreciate it. JD's on the line 3. JD was at the event. Hey, JD, how are you, man?
I was there. First, I was strip searched. Second, I was sworn to secrecy by Marty Allyn. I was sworn to secrecy by Father
Guido Sarducci.
And I was sworn to secrecy by the Moyle, Jaime Lipschitz. And when I told them when I got there that I was a friend of Wayne Allen Root, they charged me double. And
you are such a wise ass, I swear to God. But all I could say is when you hang with Wayne Root, do beautiful women hang around you at the end there? Were you around two beauties or what?
Well, Judy, the big one, she's from originally from Germany, and she works at the Hofbrauhaus.
I know.
And she invited us over there for dinner. That's the one that whacked you in the ass.
I know she is.
And
Judy
also,
and Cindy were the two beautiful ladies that were around us at the end.
Yeah, and Cindy was a trophy rack. When you left, I hung around with Father the Pope there, and we
Nelson
were laughing.
Sardelli. Nelson Sardelli.
And he invited us up to go fishing again.
Go
it
fish.
was a good event. It was a fun event, and there was a lot of people there, a lot of love in the room, and we had a good time.
And they practiced. They really practiced to get it right. That whole little, what's the word for it? I don't know.
It was a comedy. It was a comedy act.
It was almost like a Broadway play. It was a secret initiation, whatever the word is. I heard they practiced yesterday, late into the night, and this morning to make sure they got it right. So I really appreciate all the folks at Fiore and Nelson Sardelli and his wife Lorraine and all the great people, Dave Adolph, all the great people that made it a great success. Dave was the Roman centurion that led me in blind. I knew that was trouble. Never let a Roman soldier lead a Jew in. It's not going to be a good ending.
And they all want us to join the clubs now, the Fiore, the Italian club, and everything else.
Well, I'm Italian, so I guess I have no choice now, right? So.
What's your name? Fondue or what?
Fabio.
Wayne
Fabio Root.
Fabio, yeah. I'm going to call you Fredo.
All right, Fredo. All right. That's what I was afraid was going to happen to me up there. I thought they were going to whack me, you know?
Well, I couldn't believe the way they brought you in with I said, do you really wear a T-shirt like that?
It was they call it a guinea tee with lots of hair taped to the top. So I looked like I had a big hairy chest.